Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with round 8 of season 2 of our F1 2020 McLaren driver career mode, where today we're here in Azerbaijan. Now as you guys can probably already tell, this video a little bit different to the normal ones. Now if you watched my update video that I made yesterday, you will remember in that video I said that personally I prefer doing live commentary in comparison to post commentary. I went to record this video after that, and I mean, you've got to appreciate the irony in the fact that the live commentary decided to fail. So we're having to post-commentate the first video here of 2021. But obviously, if you guys do still go on to enjoy, make sure you do leave a like and get yourself subscribed. Like I said in that video, we're trying to hit, first of all, 15,000 subscribers here in 2021. It's something mad, like 60% of you guys that watch these videos aren't already subscribed. So make sure you get yourself subscribed to the channel and yeah, help us try and get one step closer to that ultimate goal. So yeah, this video unfortunately is going to have to be a little bit different. Not quite the style I want to do, but obviously I still want to give you guys the footage from Azerbaijan. Obviously we've got plenty of action actually coming from Azerbaijan. We've got this race and then also the F2 career mode dropping at the weekend as well. So yeah, plenty of action to come from this city circuit. It almost feels like a sort of a proper Formula 1 weekend. We've got all these different races going on at the same venue as well there. But qualifying didn't quite go the way I wanted. P7 on the grid. It was quite a tightly bunched qualifying session in the end. Racing Point and Mercedes, as well as obviously ourselves, McLaren, looking incredibly quick this weekend there. But yeah, looking though to the race ahead though, obviously as always going to be a fairly simple one-stop strategy. Softs to mediums was the way we were planning on going this weekend. Obviously 13 laps ahead of us as well, so we have got a bit of time to try and move our way through the field if we can do. Obviously the power at the moment is looking very, very good from the engine. You know, we have just about got the most powerful engine in Formula 1. I will give you guys all the R&D information in the next video as well. I did actually include it in this video, but again, no live commentary, so unfortunately I can't feature it in this edit there. But yeah, we're going to go quite aggressive on the fuel, 14.9 laps. Normally, obviously, in the My Team series, we go way under on the fuel. This time around, obviously, doing the exact opposite and putting still a fair bit of extra fuel in the car, just so you know we can leave it in rich revs down the straightaways here. But ready then on the grid for round 8 of the season here from Baku. 5 red lights, and it's going to be lights out and away we go then. Not a very long hold at all as we try not to get too much wheel spin down in towards turn 1 there. Bottas going for a big send on the inside of Verstappen there as we've got Sebastian Vettel trying to look past us through the first corner. But we do get out. We do just about give Seb the room on the inside there as we head through turn 2 though. Bottas and Max really coming together there through the second corner. Bottas parked it on the exit as he tried not to make too much contact with the young Dutchman there, and that unfortunately meant a big concertina and up. Luckily, no damage for ourselves there. As you see Max in towards turn 3 going just a bit defensive in the last moment there on Valtteri Bottas. But heading down though through turn 4, you can see we haven't lost anything, but we also haven't gained any positions there as Sebastian Vettel tries to have a look round the outside through the next couple of corners there. Luckily, he can't quite make that move work, and we do hold on to P7 off the start of this Grand Prix there as we head down in towards the infamous castle section here. Lando still leads the way at the front of the field there. I think we've got Perez still sat in at P2 there, so quite an interesting front row for this race of the season here. And you can see then, obviously, we've got Hamilton, Lance Stroll, Verstappen, Bottas, myself, Vettel, Ocon and Ricciardo, I think it was, rounding out the top 10 there. But end of lap 1, already trying to look past Valtteri Bottas as we head down a huge front straight with that, actually making a tiny bit of contact with the wall as Bottas really tried to give us the squeeze out of the final turn, but we do get cleanly ahead of him and now up into P6 ahead of one of our main title rivals in this season there. And again, it wouldn't be long, as you can see, towards the end of lap 2 before we were closing in on the back of Max Verstappen in this race. Obviously, the Red Bull man always gets a lot out of that car, but this track just doesn't suit Red Bull, plain and simple. You know, this huge straight really does just completely nerf them into the ground there. As you can see, Verstappen again trying to just go a bit defensive on us in towards turn 1 there. We haven't actually got a particularly brilliant run, though, on Max as we set a new fastest lap of the Grand Prix there. We're going to try and go for a switchback on him out of turn 2 there, but again, we just can't quite get the power down. Max cuts across us in towards turn 2. He is actually going to compromise his run on the exit, and now the DRS has obviously been enabled as well here. We might be able to get a decent run down this next straightaway here. As you can see, Max Verstappen goes defensive once again. We go deep on the brakes in towards turn 3 there, just about get away with that one. We do hook it up right around the outside there, and now up into P5 of the Grand Prix. A very daring move, if I do say so myself there. But Stroll would be the next man on the old hit list here, and we were still really motoring early on in this Grand Prix. The Canadian not putting up much of a fight against ourselves there in the run down towards turn 1. And we're now straight up into P4 of this Grand Prix here. And obviously for me, the most important thing was getting a good start to this race there. As you can see, the end of lap 5, we were actually going to dive it into the pit lane at the end of this lap there. I was quite surprised actually the fact that Lando wasn't obviously given the first call there, but he actually wanted to stay out a little bit longer in this Grand Prix there. So Perez, Hamilton, myself, all are going to dart into the pit lane. The same for Max Verstappen, who is 1.8 seconds behind us now in this Grand Prix, as he actually just gets jumped by Bottas on the way into the pit lane there, trying not to run into the back of Lewis Hamilton just in front of me as well there as we head down in towards the pit lane. Hopefully none of us will get held up. It seems that only a few of us towards the front of the field have dived it in. A lot of the guys in the midfield going to try and go 1 or 2 laps longer in this Grand Prix, but all of us stay out exactly where we were in this race here as we head back out of the pit lane. Though we're going to have to deal with a lot of slower traffic in the second half of this race. Hamilton just cuts in front of Romain Grosjean through the first corner there as we head out of turn 2. Got to try and get the power down and try and get past the Haas car as we head down in towards the next corner here, right around the outside of Romain Grosjean we go there. We're just going to be heading to the braking zone, but Grosjean doing Grosjean things, keeps the nose up the inside, but luckily nothing he could do in that situation, and we pull off a similar move to the one we just made on Max Verstappen as well here. But all over the back of Lewis Hamilton as we head down the hill, we have both Williams and Raikkonen really slowing up the progress of Perez, Hamilton and myself there. I think Max was still stuck behind Romain Grosjean at this stage of the race there as we try to get a big run out through the final chicane here. Hamilton thinks about going to the right hand side of Raikkonen, they can't find any room, so we have to go 3 wide down at the main straightaway here, and we do make the double overtake work there. You can see Perez has pulled off a worldly of a move on the Williams cars as well there. Russell darts into the pit lane, Raikkonen darts into the pit lane as well there. We're now up into P6 of this Grand Prix, but we need to try and get around Latifi as soon as possible as well here. You know, we don't want to be stuck behind him through the middle sector, allowing Hamilton to stick all over our gearbox there. And we are now up into a net P3 of the Grand Prix there as Latifi going very, very slow out of the first couple of corners there, right around the outside of the Williams man we move, and yeah, now up into P3, like I said, a net P3 of the Grand Prix once we've got, I think, the Alfa Romeo of Giovinazzi and the Alfa Tauri of Danny Kvyat having made their stops there. End of lap 7, already over halfway through this Grand Prix though. You can see we're going to get a massive run on Sergio Perez out of the final corner here. And to the outside we go, down towards turn 1 there. We are now going to move ourselves up into 2nd place of this Grand Prix here. And I was actually thinking about it during the race. This would only be our 3rd 1-2 of the season. We had 2 1-2s. Perfect number, I know. Obviously in the first 2 Grand Prix of the year at Australia and Bahrain. But since then it has been very, very up and down for the team there. And yeah, this could be on for our 3rd 1-2 of the year. Perez sticking very, very close though as we head down in towards turn 3 there, but not quite close enough to make anything work. And over the next couple of laps though, the gap to Lando really, really starting to come down towards the end of this Grand Prix. I felt good, I felt quick, I felt like potentially we could try and make something happen in towards the end of this race there. And as we come towards the end of lap 12, we should now just about be in the DRS of our teammate Lando Norris here with just over a lap to go of this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. But I've had a bit of a history in the past of bottling these tight last lap battles around this circuit, so maybe, just maybe today, we can try and shake that off as well there as we head down this huge 1.2 mile front straightaway here in towards the first corner. Are we good? Well, we're nowhere near going to be close enough to Lando Norris to go for anything in towards turn 1, but all we need to do is just try and stick close to him. Don't do what we did through that first corner and light up the rear wheels as we try to put the power down here. But I'm sure Lando as well has been given free rein to use all the battery, all of the fuel that he's got left in the back of his McLaren car as well though. We've still got the DRS. The gap comes down to less than half a second as we head down in towards turn 3 there, but still not quite close enough to do anything to our teammate Lando Norris there. Through turn 4, Lando's still just doing absolutely everything he needs to. He's dominated this Grand Prix from the start to now. Now he's starting to feel a little bit of pressure though, as you can see through the next couple of corners there. Kicks at the back end just a little bit, gets a little bit more wheel spin than he was expecting there. But you can see the gap still hovering at around 0.6 of a second, and really, if we want any chance of doing anything, we need to be within half a second there. Taking a little bit of time out of him as he wallops the wall through the castle section there. Not what our teammate needs in the final stages of this Grand Prix. Has he got a little bit of front wing damage from that? I didn't see any carbon fibre being kicked off the front wing there, so I think Lando has just about got away with that as we head down in towards the final few corners of this Azerbaijan Grand Prix there. We just nicked the wall ourselves there. Luckily, again, no front wing damage, but it is going to cost us a little bit of time to our teammate dominating there through the final corner of this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We need to activate the rich revs, use as much of the ERS as we possibly can here, be as smooth as we can through the final chicane there, activate the DRS as soon as possible here, and it is going to be a drag race up towards the finish line, but I think Lando is just too far ahead to make anything happen there as we head down towards the line. Lando Norris wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix by just 1/10 of a second.
Great drive, great drive. We're really happy with that performance.
Another race and another win for McLaren. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Our drivers are making their way out for the podium celebrations, and it's going to be McLaren picking up the winner's trophy. Congratulations to the entire team for that fantastic performance. And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. Mr. Monaco increases their championship lead. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
I have to give it to Mr. Monaco. There was a lot going on all down the field, but they were the only one who I really felt maximised their potential.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. McLaren continue to increase their gap at the top. Meanwhile, good work from Racing Point this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
So there we are then, guys, the end of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And again, a bit of an apology that obviously this video couldn't go out in the way that I normally want it to there. But 1/10 of a second separating myself and Lando Norris at the end of the race. They're very, very happy with that performance and finally getting another one too on the board. Sergio Perez, another brilliant day out in P3 there ahead of Hamilton, Bottas, Ricciardo, Ocon in 7th there, so a brilliant double points haul for Renault as well. They're ahead of Verstappen down in 8th, Charles Leclerc in 9th, and Pierre Gasly rounding out the top 10 there. Normally I'd give Stroll a little bit of stick for finishing in P11, but he actually had some mechanical issues this Grand Prix which forced him further down the order than he would have liked there. But yeah, Sergio Perez so consistent in the early races of this season. I think the only big surprise was, of course, Alexander Albon down in P13 there, as well as Charles Leclerc all the way down in 16th place at the end of the day there. Not a particularly good job done by those two guys as well there. But in terms then of the Drivers' World Championship, the gap at the top remains at 11 points as Lando Norris now slots himself back into P2 there. Hamilton 18 points back in P3 there. Bottas 40 points back out of nowhere. He's really had a terrible run of form since, what, probably the Spanish Grand Prix there, obviously where he had that DNF now. Only 3 points ahead of Sergio Perez, who has certainly been the most consistent driver early on this season. Verstappen still in 6th. Ricciardo gets the better of Charles Leclerc in 7th there, and you can see the only other mover was Ocon jumping Stroll. And 47 points clear in the Constructors' Championship as now as Racing Point get back past Ferrari once more there. Red Bull down in 5th place there, only 9 ahead of Renault. Could easily drop down to 6th very, very soon as well. But thank you all so much for watching this video nonetheless. Hopefully this is sort of the big issue we get in 2021. Hopefully nothing more major than that. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Like I said at the start, make sure you do get yourself subscribed. We're trying to hit 15,000 at the moment, so if you could help me get one step closer to that, it would be greatly, greatly appreciated. But yeah, we will be back tomorrow with the F2 career mode. I have already recorded that. That is going to be live as normal, and hopefully I will see you guys here once again. A big thank you to our channel members for making these videos possible. You can be featured in these end clips as well as granted access to some other exclusive perks for just £1 a month by clicking the join button below.